Right there. What's up, everybody? It's RobLive in the house. Filipino. That's the song of the day here. Got my friend John DOMINGCIL. Woo! I said it right for the first time.
Yeah.
Professional on camera. John, thank you for being on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yes, as always, we got the man with the plan, Big Jim Chance.
What's up, dog? What's up?
Yeah.
Good to have you, John. I missed you.
Oh, man. I miss you, Jim.
It's been a long time.
Oh, we got some Orosi connection going over here. We'll talk about the Orosi connection.
Yeah.
But I just want to start with the studio, man. Studio looks dope. Can I go back to 90s? Can I say dope? Is that
Yeah, dope.
Can I say that? Fresh? Swas? You guys know Swas?
Word.
Swas. So anyway, we got John in studio, and they've got a pool table now. So this place is just every time Jim plays house and just adds things to it, and we're so grateful for that. We're still working on the name, right, for the studio. Is it going to be Mile?
I don't know. We're
Mile High Ranch?
Half mile.
Mile High. That's Denver.
Rancho High. Rancho.
We'll figure it out, but we got to give Jim's props for his studio.
Looks
here.
great,
It's
guys.
awesome.
Thanks, guys.
So I just want to clarify some things. I am not an annoying millennial where I'm trying to just text and talk to John at the same time. No offense, anybody. I actually have my questions on here. So if you guys see me looking down at the phone, it's just because I'm looking for some things to talk to John about, because there's so much. I don't even know where to start. But Jim makes fun of me because, like, dude, every interview is like, you always start with, where were you born? And I said, well, that's just kind of the origin, like where somebody comes from, right?
For sure.
So,
For sure.
John,
Yeah.
where were you born?
Hey, I was born in Dinuba, guys. I was
Dinah, Alta Hospital.
Alta Hospital, September 29th, 1971.
1971.
Alta Hospital. Parents are Josue DOMINGCIL and Estelita DOMINGCIL.
Nice.
Yeah,
You're the second guest in a row that was born in Dinuba at that Alta Hospital.
Ooh, awesome.
My mom worked there, so
Oh, is that right?
shout out to Alta Hospital.
That's
First
right.
shout out of the day.
That's right. Yeah. First generation.
Okay.
My dad came over here in the late '60s, right? From Philippines,
Yeah.
and he was working out in the fields, and then 1971 he went back or so to go get married. Married my mom, and the funny story is I was made in the Philippines.
Made in the Philippines.
Made in the Philippines and
Born-
assembled in the U.S., I guess you'd say.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then Dinuba is where they settled, or they settled in Orosi.
So
Oros, puro Oros. Is that how you say it?
that's right, Oro.
Oro.
Yeah, I grew up in Orosi. I've got two sisters, Delilah, who
Hey there, Delilah.
yeah, Delilah
Out in
was
New York
one
City.
of Jim's classmates. Yeah, class of '91.
Okay, does she know about the song?
Which one?
The Delilah song that was that huge,
Back then?
the big white tees.
Oh no,
No,
the
when
plain
it-
white tees.
it-
I'm sure
What'd I
she's
say?
heard
Big
it.
white tees.
Big.
No, mine's the ghetto version. Big white tees.
No,
With
but
gold
she,
chains.
I believe she was named after Delilah. The song is that Tom Jones? Delilah?
Oh yeah, he has one too, right?
yeah, that a long time ago, right?
So here's the thing that I've always wondered: like having a name where there's a popular song.
yeah,
Like it's cool the first couple of times, but then
Yeah.
everybody comes up to you, right? To me, it's kind of like working at Walmart, right? And your name's Felicia. It's like, right? It's on the thing. It's like, bye, Felicia. Oh,
I'm
that's
sure,
original.
yeah.
I'm sure.
How many times does she get that? Right?
Exactly.
Every day.
There's
Yeah.
some John songs out there too, right?
Well, back then it was like I gotta go to the John,
So
right? So how many times did I hear that?
that John Doe,
Yeah.
right?
And then I have another sister, younger sister. I'm the oldest, right?
Okay.
I'm the oldest. I have another sister who's Geraldine. She lives over in Roseville, up north.
All right.
Yeah.
Sacramento area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give her some love.
Yeah.
Give her some love.
Give her some love.
Sacktown, Bay Area, and back down.
It was funny in high school. People would say, "Hey, John, those are your sisters?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Yeah, those are my sisters." And they'd be like, man, they're so pretty. And they go, what happened to you? What's up with you? You know?
Same here.
And you were first.
And I was the oldest, right?
Same here. Same.
And then
here,
and then I
feel
have
you on that.
my brother. I have one brother.
Okay.
Eric. He goes by. Some people might know him as Will. Yeah, he's like 10 years younger than me.
So he's
Great
the
guy,
baby
great
of the
guy.
family.
Yeah, but
Is he based out of Orosi or where's he
yeah,
out of?
yeah. So we grew out. We grew up in Orosi.
Okay.
Yeah, I we're from Clyde Avenue in Orosi by the high school over there.
Clyde, you know Clyde Avenue?
Clyde Avenue. Okay, so
Is that the cruise
No,
strip?
I know him from the other house.
okay, so we moved there when I went to 7th or 8th grade.
Mm.
Okay, but Clyde Avenue.
That's
That's
where you
where
grew
I
up.
grew up. Yeah. Shout out to all the Clyde Avenue guys. Jim knows BB or Felipe, his
Mhm.
brother Manuel.
That was the neighborhood.
Yeah, you know, you guys. I mean, you guys know how it is. I watched when Jim was up here, and
Yeah.
we talked about our neighborhood kids, our friends, right?
Yeah.
You know, special place in my heart for Clyde Avenue guys. Who else was there? I don't know if he was way older than you, but Frylon.
Oh yeah, I knew Frylon.
you know
yeah.
Frylon,
yeah,
right?
Anthony
Wait,
Frylon-
Alvarez.
Anthony,
Yeah.
His name was
rest in peace,
Frylon?
Anthony.
Frylon, yeah.
How do you
yeah.
spell F-R-Y?
F-R-I-O.
There's new
L-O-N.
names invented all the time. Frylon.
Yeah, Frylon, Mark Tatayan,
Mm.
right?
I know the names. If I saw him on the street,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
you."
Mark Tatayan, Eric De La Cruz.
So that
Carlos
area out there,
Cabanas.
just for reference for people who are
Yeah.
watching this who are not from the Central Valley, we're talking the California Central Valley area, San Joaquin Valley, and there are a lot of small communities, farming communities
Yeah.
mainly, along with the big sister cities of Fresno, Visalia, and Orosi is one of these small farming communities.
Yeah.
The thing about Orosi that I was when I first discovered it, because I'm from London, we barely leave our community until we get a car at like 16. Start driving around and I find Orosi, and I get to Orosi, and I'm just in my mind I'm thinking 100% Latino in my head, right?
Yeah.
Then I get there and I'm like, there's a large Filipino
Oh,
population.
for sure.
Do you know the history behind that?
Well, from what I understand, that's where a lot of them, when they came from Philippines, that's where they started to live.
And because of the job
All,
opportunity,
all the farm laborers.
the farm
you know.
laborers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
awesome. Okay, so we're gonna reference here childhood.
Yeah.
Was your childhood, would you say, out in the streets, hanging out?
Well, I was a typical kid. Back then, late 70s, early 80s.
That's a great time.
Right. You know
Saturday
how
morning
we
cartoons.
like how we would just play outside, outdoors. It was the same thing, like how Jim said that you would be out there until the lights came on. That's how you knew it's time to go in. Something funny. My mom. I was at BB's house one time, and we were playing, and the lights haven't even come on. And I told BB, hey, I gotta go home. And he's like, how do you know? I go, my mom's calling me. And he goes, what
No
do you mean?
cell phones back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, exactly. Wait, how do you know she's calling you? I said, just wait, listen. And then you hear from afar, shh, shh. And I go, BB, that's my mom. I gotta go. It's a Filipino thing, man.
Really?
Hey, I guarantee you go to somewhere where there's a bunch of Filipinos, and
Yeah.
if you just go, shh, you're gonna get all of them turn around. That's what she did. So
That was the call.
that was a call, man.
I think every nationality has
yeah,
that.
has
You know,
something,
What
right?
was yours, Jim?
No, my mom just said, Jim.
Yeah.
Did she say your whole name?
No, that
Jim,
was it.
Philip, Chance the
yeah.
Third.
No, but the Hispanics, they have that whistle. Everyone
yeah,
knows
I
that.
can't do the whistle.
Me neither. But
Well,
I'm
my
not
mom-
Hispanic.
My mom's thing was, I'm Rob Izquierdo Jr., named
Okay.
after my father, right? Plenty of people with that, right? So you referenced the younger one is Junior.
Mhm.
So she'd go out in the front yard and yell, Junior, and like 7 random
Oh, yeah,
kids show
for
up.
sure.
What, were you calling me, man? No, the other Junior.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So those. Okay, of course you have your neighborhood friends, right?
yeah.
And then when you then fast forward to like junior high, all these different chapters in your life are so cool. That's when breakdancing was coming out, right?
I was going to mention that.
breakdancing.
Okay, one of my first impressions of John, I'm on Facebook. For those who know about me, I live on Facebook. My wife makes fun of every moment, every living moment's on Facebook. And I'm on there one day, and Dinuba High School is introducing its teachers, and it's this outdoor rally in the stadium, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so cool because I'm an educator. John's an educator. So is Jim, right? We're all, shout out to teachers. And so I'm watching it because it's teachers, and I went to Dinuba High as a kid, so I'm watching this video, and everybody's like, hey, hello, Mr. Miller, and somebody comes out, does a little wave, right? And somebody else, hello, and then someone does like the Kid and Play, just real simple steps. And then they're like, everybody check out Mr. John, our new music director, Mr. John DOMINGCIL. John breaks out a tile and does the full windmill, which is a super hard breakdance move. I'm like, who is this man? I need to know him. He is my new hero. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
At your age, you were doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
he did it well. He did
I
it.
envy that,
The
man.
school, no, the whole school lost it.
Yeah,
They're like, ah.
That was fun. That was fun.
So breakdancing.
Yeah,
right?
breakdancing, man. That was.
You carry a tile around? Just
Yeah.
drop the
Oh
tile?
yeah. Okay. So check this out. Well, okay. So shout out to my breakdance crew. We were called the Windbreakers. So, we had these black windbreakers. We thought we
Yeah.
were all cool.
Adidas,
You know?
Puma.
Yeah. Well, actually, we were too poor, so we didn't have. It was kind of a.
Right?
There was no name on
No,
it.
hey,
You know.
I've been there.
But,
Little Payless.
Yeah. Shout out to the Windbreakers, Edrum, Val, Art, Louie.
What was your go-to
Tony.
song? Ours was
Uh,
like, we'd get out the tile, right? It would be like Buffalo Gals going
Oh,
around the
that was cool.
outside.
That was
what
cool.
What was your?
Man, there were several. Of course, Don't Stop the Rock, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't Stop the Rock. Egyptian Lover.
Egypt.
Yeah, those type of
Yeah.
ones.
How
Yeah.
about Electric Kingdom? Did you guys
Oh
do
yeah,
Electric-
yeah. Electric. We did a
Electric
in the early
Kingdom.
'80s. I was at the talent show. We did a routine to that song.
So the Windbreakers would go to local talent shows. Or
Yeah.
were you guys in the streets?
Yeah,
too?
so we even, let's see, for one of my birthdays, my
Yeah.
mom says, "What do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "Mom, you know what would be nice would be a linoleum floor, like a floor."
Yeah.
Because my dad, he worked at this battery place, and he would bring these boxes, and we would cut them up,
So
tape them.
cardboard,
Yeah,
right?
so we always had cardboard all the time, but it would mess up all the time. So I asked my mom for a linoleum, right?
That's the next
floor.
level.
We went to
Wax it up.
Carpeteria or something something like that.
Carpeteria.
I think it was Carpeteria.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
That's an
We went
80s,
somewhere
90s place.
and she bought this like huge, like 12 by 12. You know,
Man.
you'd roll it up. In fact,
Mom backed you up.
oh man, she's awesome. In fact, we took that linoleum floor and we would go to not the Visalia Mall, but the Sequoia Mall.
Sequoia Mall.
That was
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was the
Mooney
happening
Boulevard.
place.
Yeah, back in
Yeah,
the day. That
back
was
in the
main
day,
spot.
that was
Aladdin's
a-
Castle with the
yes.
arcade.
Yeah. So we would go outside and they would let us just set it up and we would break
And
dance.
we had a
Yeah.
ghetto blast. We call them ghetto blasters. What do you call them?
Exactly.
Ghetto
Exactly.
blasters. Battery operated big radios up here, folk.
Yeah, we had
Think
a
Bumblebee from
boombox.
Transformers.
we had a Remate Lasonic Lasonic boom
not
boombox.
Sony.
Not Sony, Lasonic, man.
Not Samsung.
And,
Lasonic.
yeah, we'd go out there and we'd either like break dance against other people,
Yeah.
or we would just break dance all day, invite people, and we would just practice. In fact, let's see, in 8th grade, yeah, Ed
So
drum.
this was junior high.
Yeah, this is junior high.
So how were you guys getting around? Because you weren't driving yet.
Our moms
She-
would just.
she'd
would
fill
just
up
drop
the,
us
the
off.
station wagon
It was like a van. We had a
and
van.
be like, John,
Yeah, dropped us off the whole day. Right.
Dang.
Leave money, and so this is for you guys to eat, and blah blah blah.
Orange
and,
Julius. You guys talk about Orange Julius?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. For some of you guys who weren't around for the breakdance era, to me it was a beautiful time in history where instead of fighting, right?
Yeah.
If you saw a crew and you guys had some beef, you danced it out. Your crew against mine. And there you go.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
that's it. Oh, hey, pass it, pass it.
You
What are
like
you
that?
doing?
Oh, hold on, pass it, John.
Oh,
There it is.
Oh. Back at you.
Ooh.
yeah.
And you could call people out. And I remember you could kind of like work your call out. Jim, do you
Oh,
remember
that's
this?
right.
Where it's like you kind of like turn it in and it just you'd point. It's like, oh, it's my And if you pointed at somebody and then they didn't
have
come
to-
in,
you
it was
have
like,
to
oh,
come
I
in or
gotta
else-
go.
Do you remember when someone would put something in their mouth to make their mouth move around, and they pull it out and throw it at them
There
and
was
stuff? It was all these stupid call outs.
I've got a video.
What they would do is they would like grab your head,
yeah.
eat it, and do that move, right? Or like spit it out, kind of
The
thing.
guy from Breaking. Remember the guy from Breaking? He just put it in here. It's like, oh
was it.
man.
Yeah, but in 8th grade we had that crew, and I'll tell you, man, we danced religiously. Like after school, let's say from 3:10.
It was a sport.
5 o'clock. We were at Edrum's house,
Yeah.
and we would.
So who was the guy, the choreographer, who was like, all right, we're gonna go here? And then
We kind of every time we came up with routines, we'd kind of everybody would have a.
where were the
a
moves
say.
coming from? Were you watching Yo
Oh
MTV
yeah,
raps? or
okay,
what-
yeah.
what-
So Edrum had a VCR,
Oh, you
Right?
recorded.
and everybody would record at
Yeah.
night at such, and we would bring our videotape,
Yeah.
and we would watch these videos.
Over,
So it was
over.
kind of like a sport. From
Break it down. Break down
Yeah,
the
we
tape.
did. We'd go from like 3:10 to 3:40. Would be like, okay, we're just gonna learn this. We're gonna check it
So
out.
organized.
Yeah, we'd learn it. Okay, outside we go, and we start practicing those moves.
Yeah.
That's how we did it.
And that's how you learned the windmill.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's to me that was the most impressive one. I never
Yeah.
mastered the windmill.
You
I
know,
can do a backspin. That's as far as it went for me and Jimmy Teague.
that was my move. And you had the regular windmill. You had what they call the nutcracker, right? The nutcracker. You even had one called the handcuffs behind your back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so I
didn't
did
know the
all
names.
those. I did all like back then. Everybody had like one move, right?
yeah,
But now, if you've seen the b-boys now,
yeah.
man, they do what they call combos, right? One guy could go out there and do everything in one move.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, remember America's Best Dance Crew? It was the one where Mario Lopez was the host, and then he'd bring out different dance crews against each
Oh.
other. The Jabberwockies were discovered on that show.
Yeah.
Well, they were season 1 champions.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say about season 3 or 4, there was a b-boy group from Vegas,
Mm.
Super Crew. These guys were all b-boys, and they could do every move,
Yeah.
and they took this whole thing to the next
Oh,
level.
yeah, man.
And I was just like, so it was so nostalgic to see a b-boy crew back dominating the dance scene, and that was just refreshing for them. But you were the first guy to bring me back to that on that Facebook.
Hey, you know what? I want to add to that though, but because
Yeah.
I know John's in the education now, we're all on the kind of same page here. But how did that make you feel, John, knowing that when you did that move, obviously the kids are hearing you and watching you for the first time, and all of a sudden he does a move that no kid has really seen a 50-plus-year-old guy
Yeah.
do. What did that make
Yeah.
you feel like?
Yeah. At that time, I felt like a rock star again, or
You
I
look
was
like
like,
a rock-
wow,
no.
I'm like the cool guy,
Yeah.
But
And
they've never released, like you said, they've never seen that live. My
yeah.
my daughter, one of my daughters, Autumn, at the time, she said she was at the high school at the time, and she invited. She told me, she goes, I want you to windmill. I want you to windmill for the show.
Oh,
And
that's
so-
where it came
yeah.
from?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think I've done that maybe 3 times at an assembly. You
Oh,
know?
okay.
So at one of the times when she was in school, she was in leadership, and
ASB?
and she said, "Hey, Dad, why don't you come and perform?" And I think it's one that we were imitating the Jabberwockies.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you
The mask.
so if
So
you
you had the other
YouTube that,
teachers?
it was teachers. It was
Now,
teachers.
Did they keep up with you? Because I know you dance.
Yeah,
but did
they
your teachers?
they came. They asked me to choreograph this whole
Okay.
thing, right?
All right. We got that in
Yeah.
common.
Yeah.
We did Thriller. I remember that. Do you remember that
Mm-hmm.
one, Jim? At our high school, and we did Thriller /
Ooh.
Everybody from Backstreet Boys. So I came up with the choreography for both sides. I did it back in LA, and then when I came here at my new school, I said, "All right, we're gonna do it." So it was Halloween,
Yeah.
and the principal comes out and she's like talking. There's a video out there somewhere, but she's talking like, "Okay, kids, I need everyone to make sure we have appropriate rally behavior." And in the middle of that, here comes the music, and all the teachers are coming out like zombies, right? So isn't that
That's
thrilling
cool.
to like?
That is so cool.
Right? No. Okay, so
it.
sorry, we jumped ahead a little bit. How did you eventually go from dancing to music
Yeah.
to now making music? What was your first instrument? Because
Man.
John's an accomplished musician. Well, first of all, let's go through the list.
Okay.
How many instruments do you play?
Well, it's not very many.
Are you like
Robert.
Prince?
No, it's not.
Keyboard, guitar.
Well, okay, so drums was my first. I
That's your
played
first
drums. Yeah, I play drums.
Both drummers?
I play guitar, more like rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
I could do some leads, but I'm not really a
Are
lead
these
player.
self-taught lessons?
Yeah,
School?
self-taught for guitar. Mainly everything was self-taught. I play a little bit of keyboards, you know.
Okay.
Um,
Some
but-
basic chords.
Yeah, but because I'm a teacher, when you become an educator in music, you do have to learn how to play all the band
Oh,
instruments.
really?
Yeah, so you go through what they call pedagogy classes, right? They teach you how to teach the instrument,
And you have to know how to play it,
Yeah,
obviously.
so like
So you can do clarinet, trumpet.
yeah, I mean I
to
could
some degree.
yeah, so I'm like if I were to pick
Hot
up
cross
a clarinet,
buns.
yeah, I'm like at a 6th grade level at those.
Let me share real
instruments.
quick with the audience. Hot cross buns, right? Shout out to Mr. D, Sierra Pacific. Hot cross buns is a very elementary beginner's music piece
Yeah.
that you can play. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 right?
Yeah. Bum bum
Bum,
bum.
And then you hold for 4.
Dun, dun, dun. If you could do
Oh, yeah,
that,
dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's like, is he really bringing that on the
yeah,
podcast?
if you play that,
Hot
you're like,
cross
yes,
buns.
I could play hot.
So
cross
you can
buns.
play hot cross buns on
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah. So I don't play many instruments, but if I had to teach beginning band at one time, so
Yeah.
I could do that. But the way I got
Started.
into it, man, when I grew up, ever since I could remember, my dad was playing in a top 40 band.
Really? So your
Playing
dad was the
oldies.
original OG
Yeah,
musician?
he's the original OG, man. I'll tell you, he played guitar, he played keyboards, he even played like slide guitar, like country slide guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
So he was with the cover band for top 40 music.
Yeah.
And was this a lot of R&B or
Well,
country or what was it?
It was a lot of oldie stuff and some of the stuff on the radio. But when I was a little tight, like
Do you remember the name of his band?
yeah, it was called Taste and Rhythm.
Taste and Rhythm. Do
Yeah.
they still get together once in a
No,
while?
no. Yeah, my dad had passed, and
Oh.
my dad has been passed away now. But Tony Padua was one of his best friends who sang. He's still out there. Sometimes he sings. I see him around.
Very cool. My dad was in a band as well. The
Is that-
Cavaliers out of Selma. He played the congas.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, we both kind of come from that.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so then you see dad do it.
Yeah, I see my dad do it. We'd go to his gigs or whatever, and then
Yeah.
one day, I think I was 4th grade.
Yeah.
He looks at me and he says, "Hey son, do you want to play drums?" Sure,
Yeah.
why not? I mean,
Were
I watched-
instruments available in the home or?
not yet. The drums were not.
Okay.
We had an organ, we had piano, guitars, slide guitar. We had those instruments. But he says, "Okay, I'll be back." So I was like, "Where's he going?"
Why do you think he offered up the drums?
I think
He's like, what's the one instrument we don't have? Okay.
right, probably
Well,
that.
let's fill in the gap.
But here's the catch. I think too is because he saw a drum set for sale at
There
a
you go.
garage sale.
There you go.
Remember those garage sales?
I still have them sometimes.
But the funny thing nowadays it's more like yard sales, right?
Yeah.
But back then, my dad would always say, I don't understand what garage sale is. They're selling their garage. I was like, no, Dad, it's the stuff that's in the garage. All right. Anyway,
And he found his
well, yeah, he
drum
went to a
set.
garage sale, and he comes back with this wannabe like Slingerland 5-piece red set. It was beautiful. Well, to me, I'm a 4th grader. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this is so cool. He sets it up, and he gets on it, and he's like, John, try to do this.
cymbal snare.
Yeah, he starts playing these beats. I was like, wow. And because we had that organ there, the organ had like these preset beats on there too.
Yeah.
So he would say, okay, when I'm at work, I want you to copy these beats. Okay, just press the button, you copy it. So that was like my homework. So because he wanted a jam,
Yeah.
right? So my dad was the one who taught me, and then his brother, my uncle Tim, the youngest uncle, he
Yeah.
was well, he still is a guitar player.
Okay.
In 1980, he graduated Orosi
Was
in
he
1980.
in the band? with
No, he
your
wasn't in
father?
my dad's band, but he had his own band.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Yeah, they were playing like
Whole
Journey
family.
stuff, like
Nice.
classic. Well, now it's classic rock, but back then it was in. My uncle Tim, he came over one day and he brought over some records, right?
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, John, you want to rock?" You know, I'm like,
I want to rock.
yeah, I want to rock. He goes, "Okay." So he brought these LPs out, right? He goes, Kiss,
Oh,
gives me Kiss,
man.
Journey, right?
Yeah.
Peter Frampton,
Yeah.
Bad Company. You know, he's just giving me all these records. Led Zeppelin,
Oh, okay.
right? He's giving me all these records,
Bonham.
and he's like, I want you to learn these songs so that every time I come over, we could jam, right?
Wow.
Van Halen, of course.
My music at that time for the jamming, because I had a drum set in my garage as
Yeah.
well, was Appetite for Destruction.
Oh, man.
Guns N'
Guns N'
Roses. Welcome
Roses,
to the Jungle.
for sure.
So that whole track right there.
Yeah.
So that was your soundtrack. You did you master these songs?
No,
or-
well, you can never master those guys, right?
Yeah.
But I try to do my best. So every time my Uncle Tim came over, we would play, and that was that with the learning those. But that really helped me out because now fast forward to '86, right? And in
Yeah.
'86, I was a freshman in high school, second semester. I get a phone call out of the blue by Darren Downing. You remember Darren Downing?
Oh my gosh.
He hung out with Sarah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From
So
Orosi.
yeah, from Orosi, great guy.
Are you
man.
gonna get to the band part?
Yeah, man. So Darren calls me. Calls me on the landline.
How old are you at this time?
I must have been 15, maybe.
Wow.
15.
For those of you who aren't sure about this, landlines, they were like on the wall. They had a cord. You couldn't take it anywhere. You had to be there
Yeah.
to pick it up.
Yeah. So Darren came into the room and he said, "Hey, play something," right? So I get on the drums and I just start playing away. And then he says, "Can you play a song? Play to a song?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." So I grabbed a tape. It was Bon Jovi's
Dead or alive.
"You Give Love a Bad Name."
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I played through that
Something
entire. Yeah, I played through that whole track, and afterwards he looks at me. He's like, "You're in."
That was it.
That was it. And then
How did you feel? Like
I was like, "Oh, cool."
a part of a band.
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes, "I'll pick you up tomorrow. We're gonna practice, right?" So then at school we're talking about it, and ends up being with good friends of mine, Paul Gaylor, who played guitar. Eric Encinas played bass for that band, and Red. We call him Red. His name is Bobby Whittall. He
Wait,
sang.
was there another redhead in Orosi besides Jim?
There was. Yeah.
I thought Jim was the only one.
Yeah, Red
Him
was
and
actually
Chad
older though.
Rankin?
Red
Yeah.
was older. So the name of that band was called Razor's Edge.
Razor's Edge.
Yeah,
I
that-
like it.
That was my
Is that
first
a movie
band.
too? I think it's like.
I think it
80s
was a
huh?
movie. I think it was. So that was my freshman year, man. And then I played some other bands
Man.
after that.
John, you just got a ticket to the cool crowd. Your freshman year. They're like,
Yeah,
hey, you want to be part of a popular band?
it was cool. Meeting
Did your
meeting
status?
everybody.
Would it elevate your status at school?
It kind of did. Some of my
That's the drummer from
yeah. So
Razor's Edge.
so some of my
Autographs? Ever
classmates.
sign autographs?
Some of my classmates were like, "Dude, you're playing with Paul and Darren and Eric." I was like, "Yeah, wow," that
They're
kind of thing.
seniors.
Yeah, it was cool. And then when I became a senior, I was in a different band with some of the same guys.
Yeah.
But my good friend, my classmate, his name is Nick Rubakabov. I think he's from. He was actually living in Dinuba, but he was going to Orosi school at the
Okay.
time. Awesome musician. We called ourselves Deja Vu.
Okay, so let's go back real quick to Darren's The Razor's Edge.
Yeah.
Were you guys doing original music or covers?
Oh, okay. So we had a few covers. I remember doing a Rat tune.
Rat.
You think you're tough. Yeah, I
What
remember
was
that
Rat's
one.
big hit?
Um,
I know they had a big one.
dude.
You're in love.
Yeah.
You're in
No,
love.
there was like this whole MTV high rotation
Oh yeah.
Rat.
Yeah.
They're not. No, I'm thinking Scorpions, but there was a Rat song.
Oh
It'll
yeah.
hit me
Lay
later.
it down. Lay it down.
Lay It
Lay
was-
it down.
Yeah.
Oh dang it! I know what you're talking about. It's slipping my
You know what
mind.
I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's a real great guitar intro. Everything.
It'll hit
Yeah,
me.
yeah. We played some covers, but mainly originals.
Okay.
Mainly originals.
And where were you performing?
That band.
Garages, parties.
Okay, we did the
orchards?
1986 talent show at Orosi.
So that's a tradition there. in
Yeah,
Orosi.
yeah. It was every yearly. It was a yearly.
Jim
tradition.
told me he brought it up. He was the first year to ever do it, and he was the brain trust and child of the whole thing.
What?
Taking credit for. Oh my God. He's
No.
like, yeah,
No, that was-
1991. I
no.
invented
Yeah,
it.
that talent show had been going on forever.
Oh,
You
and the truth comes out,
know?
folks.
No.
No, my senior year we had a band called Deja Vu.
I like
oh
that.
no! Also, when you were saying where did you play with Razor's Edge, we did this, or we thought it was like a tour, right? We
Yeah.
got to play at Cutler School, elementary school,
Yeah.
in their cafeteria,
Who said
rocking out.
The kids must
Darren
have
and them,
loved it. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
The-
You know what? Shout out to Darren for
Yeah.
having the organizational skills to convince an elementary school.
We did that. We did that school, and I think we did El Monte school too.
So you did the
I think.
local Orosi tour, elementary school tour.
Yeah, that was it, and it was during a school day because we played in front of the kids, right?
So you set up on stage. And,
yeah, of the cafeteria.
and then did you ever play like nightclubs or? 'Cause
No,
you're all
with-
underage. That's
well,
what I'm
that
thinking.
that band I didn't because I was too young
Yeah.
at the time.
So how long did that band last?
I I think I was in it for maybe 6 months.
Oh,
Yeah, out of nowhere, I remember they just said, "You're out of the band." I was like, "Oh, okay."
wait. Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say the band broke up.
No. I think they were going their separate ways to do other stuff. You know, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened, but that's just the way it went back then. You know, like I think we're done. We're gonna try something new. We're gonna get another drummer. I don't know. I don't know how it what really
do you
happened.
remember the day that you were asked to leave?
I kind of do.
Was it a traumatic event, or were you like, oh?
Okay, this is what's traumatic about it, Robert. When they told me that I was out of the band, you know, I was just like, okay, I was hurt, but I was like, oh, whatever. You know, I'm going to keep jamming.
Okay,
right?
so I'm always fascinated about people like you. Okay, so when someone tells me I'm out of the band, oh, I'm devastated. I have questions. I want to know what happened, right? And you're just like, oh,
yeah.
I wish I could live life that way. I have to dissect everything.
Well, I mean, I was only a freshman, right? And I was like,
So you felt lucky to be in it to begin
I
with.
was just happy to be in that band.
Did Darren pull you
Yeah.
aside? And like, hey,
I think it was Darren.
John?
It was Darren and Red.
Was there any
uh,
reasoning behind it?
The only thing was that they wanted to do something else, right? They're going to try to.
So they were happy with your drumming.
Yeah. There was no problem with my drumming. They just wanted to go a different direction,
And you're just like,
which
okay.
is fine, right? But
So
when you
accepting of
but when you
rejection. I
say
love
tr-
this man.
when you say traumatic, though, here's the thing that's traumatic about it.
Yeah.
I remember I told my mom, Filipino moms, man, she got so mad, right?
That's where I'm at. I think I'm a Filipino
she got,
mom at heart.
She got mad, and
You don't kick
and
my
she
son
goes,
out of
she's all, where's your drum set? I go, well, it's over there at the practice shed. Well, let's go. So we went to go get it,
Yeah.
And when I say traumatic, we went over there and nobody was at the shed at the time. So I go in there, I start getting her the drum set. My mom's helping me, and she got bit by the dog that was there.
Oh my God. The guard dog? for
Yeah,
the-
she
for
got bit
drum set.
on the calf, and
What kind of dog we talking here? German Shepherd? Chihuahua?
no, it was a medium-sized dog. I can't remember if it was like a.
Did he come out of nowhere, or did you guys see him approach?
I knew that he had a dog there,
and you thought you were
but
cool?
but I thought he was cool because I was always there.
Yeah.
but maybe because he didn't know my
Darren
mom.
wasn't there.
Yeah,
And your mom got bit.
My mom got bit. We had to go. She had to go and make sure everything's okay.
Okay, was
get a
this
shot.
after the drum set was loaded in?
Yeah.
Or it was in the middle?
No,
of
it was
whole-
in the middle of the whole thing.
So you guys left the drums?
I grabbed it and
then
we
took her.
went. That's,
You see what I do for you, John?
remember that. That's just crazy.
I faced down this dog for you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Did she bring it up now?
She never brings that up, but I do remember it. I do remember it.
You know, John, I got bit for you. So,
Yeah.
you know.
She doesn't bring it up.
Good. That's a good mom.
Yeah.
I'll
yeah.
bring it up to my kids. I got bit for you.
No. But
I love this story. I'm more fascinated about the breakup than the actual band.
It's
Oh,
cool,
my
man.
God.
No, but after that, after high school, I had some great other bands that I was in. You know,
That you started or that you?
that we kind of just got together and said, "Hey, let's form a band." It was always with some of the same people, or I might.
So people from Darren's band back with you?
Well, I had a great band with Paul Gaylor that was with in Darren's band that we had. Paul,
Now, all of these bands, were they like rock based?
yeah, original rock.
Okay.
Original rock. Man, I'm sorry. I might
Do you have a studio?
forget. Not a studio. We were just like playing in a garage or
So
something.
how were you recording your music?
Oh, back then, no, tape recorder, man. Play and record.
No mixer.
Nothing
No
back
mics.
then. You
Just
know.
go for it.
But I had the opportunity to just play with some great people, man. All these guys.
Are you still friends with some of
Yeah,
these guys?
yeah. We don't talk much, but shout out to everybody that I played with, because they shaped me. You know
Let's
what I
name
mean?
the bands. Go ahead.
Okay,
name
so
this.
I was in a band called Long Shot.
Long Shot.
Okay, that one consisted. I mean, I had Paul in that band. Richard Villanueva was in that band. I had a band called Doctor No.
Doctor No.
Doctor No. There was an older fellow by the name of Tim Caballo in that band.
Now, were you coming up with the names?
We all were just kind of around the table trying to come up with names.
Doctor
you know?
No's a villain from.
Yeah, but I think we had spelt it Know.
Oh, like
you know,
I know. I
Yeah,
know things.
Yeah. and then the band Deja Vu was in Deja Vu is
Okay.
Deja Vu. DAYSHAVU. Deja
Okay.
Vu.
Well,
Right?
let me check with Jim just on the Jim. When you hear Deja Vu, Jim,
But no, I mean, I remember you guys
did you
were
actually
playing
attend any of the concerts?
all the
or-
time because we would go to Rhodes.
Okay.
See?
Yeah. So in Orosi, back in '89 or so, there was a Texaco over there. It's Rhodes. They called it Rhodes, and we went up to the establishment one day and we're like, hey, could we throw a concert outside one day? Yeah, man. And they're like, sure. We set up in their parking lot.
Yeah.
I remember it was a Friday night, and we played, and like
It was
half the
packed.
half the town was there, bro.
It was like the hangout, and
Yeah.
everyone go. And
Cops were there.
Yeah.
Were there, but it was cool
Oh,
because
man, I love this stuff.
because we were rocking
Any
out. and
video?
There is
then,
video,
yeah.
man. There is video of that. I just don't know where it is.
And so, who advertised the concert? Like, how did people know?
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Word
There
of
was-
mouth,
There was
but-
flyers at the high school.
Yeah, a lot of flyers. But then
So you guys designed a flyer and marketed
Yeah.
the whole thing.
but the thing was, you can't miss it if you're going down the main street.
You're hearing
You
this
saw
band rock
all
out.
yeah. You
Was
saw
there a
all these-
stage?
Not really a stage. There was like a little riser, but not really a
You know what I
stage.
think of when you say that parking lot pull in, right? I was at a Raiders playoff game one time, right?
Yeah.
Oaktown, and this is back in the Oakland Coliseum, and you're tailgating in the parking lot,
Yeah.
right? And this big semi truck pulls up, but the semi truck didn't have a front, like a hard trailer.
Yeah.
It had like a curtain.
a cloth or
Cloth.
vinyl or something.
It drops
Mm-hmm.
Metallica.
What?
Metallica plays, and I'm like, "What's Metallica doing here?" Right? I didn't. I was like, "What?"
That's crazy.
Yeah, out. And so I always thought that if I were gonna ever have a band, which is gonna happen, John, next couple of years, and we're gonna be bugging you about this, I would love to have just like a trailer
Yeah.
to pull up to random locations and just drop the tail and then just start rocking out and see who vibes off of it. you know?
Right. That'd be cool. That'd be
So-
cool.
On a side note, though, Rob,
Yeah.
Rhodes was very well known for its feeder boats.
Oh yeah.
Frito
We
boat.
always would
Is
need
it?
feeder
Are they
boats
still
there.
around?
No.
That's
They're not
where we
even
would go
Rhodes
for
anymore.
lunch.
Two Hungry Teachers.
Yeah.
Right. We
Yeah,
had our
back in the
Frito boat
day.
episode. Who won? Chuck Wagon, right?
Yeah.
And the Sanger.
Ooh,
That's. But Rhodes would have won back in the day.
back in the day.
It was just the place we always would go for lunch.
Oh
It was just
man.
the main
It-
place we
it
would
was.
get gas, feeder boats, and
Oh, so they were
entertainment.
like, you're bringing in a crowd.
Oh
huh?
yeah, and that's why they loved us, I guess.
And
right?
this is Deja Vu,
This is Deja Vu.
and
Yeah.
and these original songs are
Original songs. We had some original songs, and then at that time we were playing Guns N' Roses.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would have been at that. What year is this?
89.
89.
Yeah, I believe it was 89.
And you were at the concert.
Yeah, I went to several because you were at Rhodes, and then there was one time you were across the street.
Oh yeah.
In
That the recycling.
yes, that
bin
recycling
place,
thing. I remember walking over there because
Yeah.
everyone, it's all rocks and everything. So they were playing on.
Yeah.
So let's
Asphalt.
hear from a crowd perspective. Was it the head nod, or were we dancing? Or what
Some of the songs, yeah, they were headbanger stuff, but it was all.
were the crowd vibing, dancing, or more like watching?
I think it was
what was
just
happening?
gatherings, man.
Yeah.
And back home, we would just, anytime you'd have a group of us getting together just for the camaraderie of just hanging out, we were there. But most of the music we were all around was Guns N' Roses and
So
Metallica,
cool to have that movie.
Yeah.
AC/DC and stuff. And since they were like the cover band to all that, they were just playing all that
We're
stuff.
trying
It
to
was
play all
awesome.
that kind of stuff, but originals. I mean, for me, that's what I loved about playing music, playing your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then fast forward.
Did you do
well,
any singing?
No,
I'm a
not
vocalist
really.
by trade.
Not really. I tried to, but no.
Can you sing, or is that part of your repertoire?
Well, you know what, Rob? I sing because I have to. For instance, like I'll talk about it later, but I'm sure. Like when I teach guitar, I teach beginning guitar at
Yeah.
school. So when I'm teaching them songs, if you don't
you
sing,
gotta hum it out.
yeah, if you don't have the melody, it kind of sounds like you're just practicing, right? So you gotta sing the song, and that's the only reason why I sing.
But you never led on no lead vocals on any of the songs
Not on the backup
for
vocals.
the band. Oh, you
Backup
back up.
vocals. Yeah.
Who wrote the music?
We all did. We all kind of came up. It would be one of those collaboration thing, like
Yeah.
maybe our guitar player would come
Start
up
with
with
the
the riff, and then the bass player would add to it, and then I would like put my own beat. Hey, how about this beat? They'd either say yeah or no, like do this with that,
Yeah.
and then somebody would write lyrics, the melody, and we just kind of put it together, right?
Now, so of all the bands you were in, which one lasted the longest?
Well, fast forward now to 1995.
Yeah.
Okay, 1995, we formed a band called Whatever the Matter. And that consisted of new people, John Sines, who plays guitar and sings, Josh Harden on guitar.
Are you still in high school at this point?
No, we're at high school. So
Okay.
this is 95-ish, right? When the the grunge scene came out.
Oh,
we
yeah.
we kind of had our own though. We played a little bit of that kind of stuff in another band called Medicine Man. Shout out to
Man, you had-
Marlon Ellerin,
there's
but
a lot of
he's
bands.
no longer with us. But that
Okay.
guy was
Talented.
just a great guy, talented guy. Played guitar and he sang for us in Medicine
Okay.
Man. But with Whatever the Matter, Josh Harden on guitar, at the time Steve Babbage from Reedley, he changed his name to Crittenden, which is
I've heard
his
that
dad's name.
Yeah.
I think Babbage was his mom's. I'm sorry, Steve, I can't remember.
Steve's like, come on.
I know.
He's in a band
We've only
with
been
you.
together since '95, but we had a hiatus for a while, but we still jam.
To this day.
Yeah, so
Oh, man.
whenever we have time, we'll jam, and I feel it's like
And
mainly
where do you
my
guys
fault.
go?
We jam at my house.
Okay.
We
But
jam
did you
at
do
my
any
house.
performances?
Well, back then we did a lot of playing parties. Right, we played a lot of parties. We did play at bar and grills, things like that. We did some battle of the band stuff.
Nice.
All original.
Now, when
stuff.
you're on stage, do you get nervous? Do you have a routine? Or because you just played in Hawaii with a pretty big crowd.
Yeah,
You
so
opened for Green.
I mean, my wife Josie would always laugh because during Whatever the Matter, we played in Tulare on J Street one time in Tulare, and she went with me. Sometimes she would go with her friends to go watch me, but she came with me at the time. So I have my drum set in the back, and I'm about to unload. So I lift up the trunk. I had an Expedition at the time, and she's in the front. And then she hears me, and I'm in the back going,
No way.
yeah.
You were there. You throw up before.
Rob, I'd be nervous, man. I get nervous.
To this day?
Even this day, like even for my kids.
Yeah.
Like my kids don't see me, my students,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to hide it, but I'm just like dry heaves, right? Nothing's coming out, but I just get the butterflies, man.
Wow. Okay,
I
so
do.
let's segue into that. So
Okay.
you graduate high school.
Yeah.
You go. Where'd you end up going to college?
Okay. So I ended up first going to COS.
Okay.
Okay.
College of Sequoias.
College of the Sequoias. Yeah.
The Giants.
I started going there. I went there for a year, and then I grew up. Meaning, I had my first daughter.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I had my first daughter, 1990. Alexa, shout out to Alexa.
Alexa.
Yeah, I have 7 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
So I got
8 is enough. Of that 80 show.
Eric, Alex. There's Juliana, Autumn, Callista, my twins, Jonathan and Jeremiah, who are juniors right now with me at
Okay.
high school. So I went to COS, and I took my GE there, right? And I was taking some music classes
Yeah.
because I was thinking,
Yeah. What was your direction?
Yeah,
What was your
so-
plan?
so I always knew I wanted to do something in music.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember like the phone calls from the military, right? They would call you up. I remember my senior year, and I got this phone call from the Army. Hey, son, this is the Army. What are you gonna do with your life, right? Seriously.
I don't remember that.
No,
Wow.
they would call me. Every branch had called me.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want to play music. I want exactly. I go, I want to be in a rock band.
Yeah.
And then there's this awkward hesitation, right? And then I remember him saying, "You ever thought about being in the Army band?" And I was like, "Nope." Okay. Well, I always want to do something in music. That's all I know because of my upbringing.
Yeah.
I went to COS, did my general ed there. I took theory class. They call them music theory class.
Yeah. I took music appreciation.
Yeah, you take all those classes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until later after I graduated COS, I didn't know what I wanted to do really because
Yeah.
I wanted to play on stage.
Yeah.
So
Don't you feel like there's just a rush
oh yeah,
being on stage with a live audience? And
yeah, man.
just even backstage, the jitters. I
Yeah.
love all that. That's why I'm getting back into this, to be honest with
man,
you.
it's so cool.
It's addicting.
It's cool, man.
real
I love that feeling.
Natural high.
It is. So I graduate COS, and at the time when I was dating my wife, she was already an educator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's the one, man. She's the one who said, you should be a music educator. And I thought, what do you mean? I was like, what do you talk about? What kind of music? She's like, like band.
Were you ever in band in school, or
Oh yeah, yeah.
but it just never crossed your mind?
It
to-
never. Well, I can talk about that, but my wife, she's the one who really pushed me. She said,
Yeah.
you know what? You'd make a great teacher.
Good job,
You really
Josie.
would. Thank you, baby. I love you. Yeah, she's the one who pushed me.
She saw
and
the vision.
she did, man.
So
And she
my
goes, you
man's-
know what? Enroll in at Fresno State. And I did. I did. So I go to Fresno State, and those guys are talented, Rob.
Now, when you're out there with the whole Fresno State and your wife, are you guys still based out of Orosi, or are you in Danuba relocated?
I was living in Reedley
Okay.
with Steve, who the bass player. He was a bass player for Whatever the Matter. We
Yeah.
had this house over there, and it was a cool house, hanging out over there. We would have our practices over there during Whatever the
So you
Matter
were
times.
still in the band this whole time.
Yeah, well, I was still doing the band. And here's the thing. So Josie says, you're gigging all the time, but you're not making a lot of money. Right?
Yeah.
Which was true. We hardly made money.
Yeah.
They'd give us food for free, wherever we were, but we weren't making a lot of money. And she's like, you'd be a great teacher. I went to Fresno State. Man, I thought I thought I was going to quit when I went to Fresno State because those guys were so good, right? I thought I could never do this. In fact, Rob, I told you I never had a lesson, right? I was self-taught,
Yeah.
except for my band teachers, which they were great. But when I went to Fresno State, my first lesson, because you have to take lessons, you got to take lessons over there. My first lesson, my percussion teacher says, "Okay, John, I want you to sight read this because I just want to see where you are.
Yeah.
Here's a snare drum. Go ahead, read this exercise." So I'm looking at this exercise. I'm like, okay, I could play this. I'm about to play it, and he says, "Stop." And he goes, "Let me check out your hands there." So I'm showing him how I'm holding the stick.
Yeah.
Well, I
He
guess
wants
I
you
was
to go traditional.
no, not even that. I guess I was holding it what we call I had the wrong fulcrum grip. Your fulcrum is where you get the balance of the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how you hold it. You're supposed to hold it with your index finger and your thumb.
Yeah.
And I think I was doing something kind of weird, right?
Here.
Yeah, and you know how like beginners would play and they'd put their fingers on top of the sticks and they go like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really doing that, but I was doing something like that.
So they had their gestures.
Yeah,
And
so-
you're like, oh my God.
Rob, I went home crying, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I went home crying to Josie, and I was like, "Baby, I'm gonna quit."
I'm out of my league.
Yeah, she's like, "That's okay." He was just trying to give you pointers. He's just trying to help you. Just understand, he's there to help you.
You stuck it out?
I stuck it out, man. I graduated from there. I did marching band over there at Fresno State.
You were in the marching band?
Yeah, under Gary Gilroy.
And what?
Yeah.
Drumline?
I did drumline.
Were you snare or what were you?
I was snare drum player.
Oh, man.
I played snare. I wasn't very good, but I did make the line. I played snare for them, and I was very fortunate to play for them, and they let me play
You
snare
guys did
drum.
Rose Parade or anything?
No, I did not go do that, but I got to go to some of the away games. Like I remember going to San Jose, that kind of stuff.
You got, okay.
But
Man.
of course, I was in the halftime shows.
Yeah.
And
was that nerves or no nerves?
oh yeah,
Same
because
thing.
I wasn't that good, man, and I always felt bad because I was in the drum world we call it if you're not very good at playing, you're real dirty, they call it.
Okay.
I was very dirty on my rolls. I did the best I could, but I'm glad those guys, they called me Pops because I was older than them. Yeah,
Let's
they
go,
call me Pops.
Clean it up, Pops. You're a little
Exactly.
dirty right now.
Yeah, clean it up, Pops. Hey, Pops, man, come on, hold on to that stick,
They-
But I mean, they were
they
cool
coach you
about
up.
it, but I felt bad because I was bringing them down. Because these guys were marching DCI, man. They were marching Blue Devils and Santa Clara,
The Concord Blue
Vanguard.
Devils.
Yeah.
Wow.
and here I was.
Drum and Bugle Corps, right?
Yeah,
So-
drum. Here I was from Orosi, and I never really played those type of
Hey, but
rudiments.
you were there, John.
But I was there. That was
you were
cool.
there. You were a part of it.
In fact, Dr. Gilroy, he called me out on the field during practice one day. We're doing our drill, and I hear from the loudspeaker up there. He goes, "DOMINGCIL, right? Remind me, where did you march?" Right? And I'm like, "Orosi, sir," right?
Yeah.
And he kind of pauses and he goes, "Carry on," right? But Gary was a nice guy, man. I owe that guy a lot. He shaped my he was my conducting teacher, marching band teacher.
And so then you graduate, and then
Yeah,
what was your first real gig?
El Monte School.
El Monte Junior High.
Yeah, so I
So you were the
graduated.
music teacher there.
Yeah, I graduated Fresno State in '99.
Yeah.
So mind you, I graduated high school in '89, right? So,
Hey,
so
better late than never.
I always tell my students, better late than never, but I should have been a doctor, right? I should have been a doctor.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
no, I know. I have a few friends
Yeah.
like that, career college guys.
By the way, I know I skipped over my other band director. So I do got to say this, Rob. So shout out to my junior high band directors. I had two band directors there, Mr. Heisey, sixth and seventh grade.
And this is all percussion.
Yeah, percussion. In eighth grade, I had another director by the name of Mr. Tager, and then of
Oh
course,
my gosh, I totally remember them.
yeah.
Did you play an
I
instrument,
played
Jim?
sax. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the marching band
In high school
in
too.
high school. No, I was on prep band. I was in prep band with
Ooh.
Ed McHugh.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So, and then of course, when I got to high school, Mr. McHugh,
Yeah.
he was like a second dad to me. It's,
Wow.
because in band, you spend all your hours there because of practice,
Oh, yeah.
games, and competitions.
Well, I see you everywhere.
Yeah,
I call you the hardest working
yeah,
man.
those
in the
guys,
music
man,
biz.
I owe a lot to, because they shaped me as being a music director.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love you guys. If you see this video, thank you guys for doing that, helping me out. Oh, and I also I was in choir for 1 year, my
You
senior
did
year.
sing.
I wish I would have done choir all 4 years, but I was too nervous, shy.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't think I
can't
could do it.
Throw up and vocalize
Yeah.
at the same time.
I didn't think I could
You
do
play
it.
the
but
drums and throw up a little bit.
I had a great teacher, Mr. Lepp. Do you remember Mr. Lepp? Yeah. So Mr. Lepp was not only my choir teacher, but he was my basketball coach,
My tennis coach.
my tennis coach.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
I love how the small schools, right?
Yeah.
You gotta be a jack of all trades. What do you do? I'm the football coach. I do pottery and
Custodial work. I did
custodial work on the
work.
side.
We got it. We got it.
I love that.
Yeah. And
So he did it all.
yeah, but Mr. Lepp, I believe it was either a spring concert or baccalaureate, Rob. He let me conduct the choir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's where
Was that your first?
my first time like actually conducting an ensemble, right? So that kind of got me going. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
there's official hand movements, right? That go.
yeah, there's different patterns that you got to do. Oh, Josie makes fun of me because she goes, I can't believe they pay you to count to 4 every day. That's all you do. You just count to 4 and they pay you. She always makes fun. And she goes, oh, on a good day, maybe like you'll count to 6. You know?
That's all the
Yeah,
math I
that's all,
needed.
that's
babe.
all you
I'm sorry.
do. And, like, we laugh about it. But yeah, there's actually some
There's some
patterns that you got to do.
There's some method to the madness.
Yeah. So my first gig was
Monte
El
Junior
Monte.
High.
I was there for 2 years. 99 and 2000.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then
And then but before going over there, I used to be a band tech for Mr. McHugh at Orosi. I would help out the percussion group at Orosi for field shows and stuff.
yeah.
And then as I was going to Fresno State, I was helping Dave Abear.
Hey Bear, that's
yeah.
Reedley High.
No,
right?
Dinuba, which
Yeah, okay,
which I took after him. What he did is he went down to the junior high, and then I took his spot. Okay, because so now, let's see, from 2001
Yeah.
to 2013, I was at Washington Intermediate.
So 12 years
Yeah.
at the junior high.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I did 12 years there. Great.
Were you kind of eyeballing the high school gig, or
I
was it
was
like-
I was, but I knew that Mr. Aber had some years left, right?
yeah.
But I wasn't in a hurry. I was just like, I love where I am. And then when he brought it up to me, he said, you know what, John? Hey, how about, he goes, I got a few years left, but how about I come down to the junior high and then you go up to the high school? And I thought, cool. I think that's cool. So I went out there and
Wow.
I started there in 2013.
and now you're all geared up.
I'm
Look,
here.
you got the hat.
Hey, by
You
the
got the-
way, Jim. By the way, no, I'll give it to you later. I brought. It's not this hat, but I have another hat for you guys.
Oh
It
man.
have
says
a-
Danuba on it.
Yeah, and well, it says Emperor's Vanguard.
Oh.
Guess who I marched with, Jim, back in
Yeah.
high school?
I got a hat for you guys.
Oh, sweet.
I got T-shirts for you guys, which is our theme this year, which was Prince. Right?
Yes,
It's a
I
purple
remember-
shirt.
I remember you guys practicing because I'd be
Yeah,
out there with
so,
my daughter.
So I got a shirt for you guys.
Oh man, thank
yeah,
you.
so I've been there since, man.
Dinuba Emperors for okay. So just the audience, little background. I was at the drum line when I was in high school from
Wow.
1987 through 91. I was Dinuba High School drum line.
Yeesh.
And when you came in, right, this is where you and I start to reconnect or connect for the
Okay.
first time. John's now there. It's 2014 at the time, around 2014, 2015. And I'm trying to get a library in my hometown of London.
Yes.
And when we started working on the library project, I get to meet all the local people, and Connie Huerta and Sam Smith,
Yes.
who were also community members there. They said, "Hey, we got this parade we do every year. Do you want to be part of the Christmas parade?" And I said, "Cool." And so Sam says, "I don't know if it's not that much of a parade." I go, "What do you mean, Sam?" He's like, "Well, it's kind of like 6 trucks and people in the back." I was like, "What?" And Connie's like, "No, Sam, it's better than that." And Sam's like, "No, it's really small." I go, "Well, maybe we can make it a little bit bigger." I said, "What marching bands?" They're like, "Marching bands? No, we don't have bands, man. We just get the trucks."
Yeah.
And I said, "Wouldn't it be cool to be able to get a marching band on the streets of London?" Which I'm pretty sure has never happened before, right?
Right.
We've never really had the parade to that level. So to your credit, right? And Dr. Joe Hernandez from the district, I had met him through the library thing, and I said, let me reach out to John, who's breakdancing on Facebook. Let me message him, say, "Hey, John, I know you're the director at Dinuba High." And I asked a couple other bands, would you consider blessing the streets of London and marching on our streets? And to my shock and surprise, John says, "Hey, yeah, dude, we can make that happen." And I'm like, "Come again? Wait, John, what'd you say? You know I asked you to come to London, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "You guys are coming?" I didn't believe it, Jim, up until the day the bus pulled up. I was like, "He's not coming. There's no way they're coming. He's not coming. He says he's coming." The junior high said they're coming. Why would London? Big old bus pulls up. Band gets out, and I never told you this. I went in my car. I started crying. I started crying because, that's my hometown.
Yeah.
This is my hometown band,
Yeah.
and now they're there.
Yeah.
And you made that happen. I'll never forget that, John. I appreciate that so
Yeah.
much. And here was where it really got me. There were residents of London who are students, your students,
Right.
who march in the band. And now, for the first time, they're marching on the streets of their hometown.
Right.
Because we do the Dinuba
Yeah.
Raisin Day Parade. We do a lot of things in Dinuba, but we never march in London. So if I'm a Dinuba resident, cool. But if I'm a London resident, now in my hometown marching, and I could just see the pride in those kids. Oh, and they're kind of showing the other Dinuba kids, "Hey, here's the little store, and here's the big store. Watch out for the dogs."
Yeah.
Right? They're coaching them up.
Yeah.
Like, you're in my hood now, okay? And their moms and dads
Yeah.
out in front of their homes as the band marches by. I have it on video. I recorded it all. We edited it, and we have all this thing, and it took our parade to another level.
Sure.
When you have a marching band, a legit band, and your band at the time, still to this day, legit band, and you almost have like a college vibe. So the other time that I got the chills with you, right, and Jim, I don't know if you've been to one lately, but I went to a Dinuba High game, and they have this thing called the Green Mile, where they line up all these cars.
The motorcycles,
Motorcycles,
right? Did you do
line
the
up.
motorcycles there?
Motorcycle.
Yeah.
And they walk down this green path. Well, as they're walking the green path, or I don't know if it's right before or after, the band plays.
Yeah, right before the game.
The band's
That's
building it
That's
up.
our pre-show.
And
pregame show.
you guys have this kind of real hype college cadence that you do.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of stands up, and the energy level in that stadium is dictated by the band. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is hype." And I'm like,
Did you bring that in, John? Did you bring that?
Yeah. When I first got there in 2013, we tried different things. We tried going on the football field, and that didn't work for us. We tried to make the tunnel. It wasn't a good thing. It was like nobody really heard us, right? So I just thought, what would be cool is if we do our drum cadence, marching in, we'll march in on home side, set up
On the
right,
track.
yeah, on the track, end up right in front of the home stands. We'll turn in the home stands, and then we'll play to them as the team comes out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it was like this vision. Josie and I, we thought, you're exactly right. You're on the same vibe as us. We try to make it kind of like a college feel,
because there's a build up to that
Yeah,
cadence,
yeah.
and it makes you as I remember, we were all sitting down, right, and we're waiting to see for the game to start,
Yeah.
and then you guys, the band starts going, and everybody starts getting. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm getting up, and now I'm feeling the anticipation of the football team running in.
Yeah.
That tone was set by the band, and I'm like, oh my God, and I got emotional again.
Yeah.
You keep making me cry, John.
Thanks, man. It's a sight to see. It really
It
is. And
is.
I'm so proud of these kids, man. All my students. I'm very, very proud of Dinuba community. Because what it is about us is that, as long as we make our community happy, that's all I care about. As long as they're happy with it, what we're doing, I mean, I'm happy. And just kind of like the whole vibe that we have, nothing against the bands that are out there right now. There's great bands out there, and they play difficult music, right? And if you've seen our shows, we play pop tunes, but
I love that.
yeah, but we're all about having a great time, entertaining.
And you have one of the most choreographed bands where you guys dance.
That's
And
where
that got me too.
that's where the
there's
col-
like a little
yeah.
swag step.
Yeah, that's where the college stuff comes in, right? Like ever since El Monte, when I was at El Monte, since day one, all my schools that I worked for, our drum cadences always had some sort of movement, choreography
Yeah.
in there.
And it gets everybody moving.
Yeah,
I remember too, like even when you guys are marching, I was at Raisin Day, I think last year. And I went to the Visalia band review to see the band. And you guys are marching, and then you'll stop, and then you'll go out of step, and it'll be kind of like a little dance. And all the kids get into it. And I remember this one kid, and I think I asked you about him, super tall Latino kid. I think he had a clarinet, and he was kind of like the leader in the back. And then he would just wait for a spot. And then when you guys are breaking the dance, he'd make the face and, kind of like them Southern, historically black college bands with the face and the emotion. He was into it. And I was like, John's got these guys on point.
That's kind of what I try to emulate, that kind of style. And it works for us.
Yeah.
It works for us, man. We love performing. My kids love performing. All my students that I've had, they're the reason why I do what I do, right?
Exactly. As an educator, man,
Yeah.
you are the heartbeat of that band. So I
appreciate
just
that.
wanted to thank you publicly for what you've done to elevate not only that music program, but that community, athletics, because music bleeds into all of that, the pep bands.
Oh yeah.
Right? You guys set the soundtrack for where it's going to go, and especially close to my heart, London.
Yeah.
So
And about London, you're 100% correct there, Rob. Dinuba appreciates us. We love Dinuba, of course. But when we marched, the first time we marched for London, we have kids like you said that are in the band, and they were just so appreciative of us being there. It was just like, oh my God, there's a band here, and everybody got so happy, and
even the dogs were dancing.
They were, man. And it was so great to just perform for them, just to see them happy.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
It's about the kids. So thank you, John, so much for being a part of the show today.
Yeah.
I think we got to bring you in again because we need to delve more into the whole
there's
band
so
life.
much. There's so much, man.
There is.
There is so much,
And we're going to explore all of that.
Yeah.
But for now, I want to leave this on a positive note. I want to thank you for everything you do. And you're going to sign out with me today. We're going to look in there. And as always, we say love, peace, and chicken grease. This is RobLive, and we out.
Bye, guys.
Oh, Rob
There it
out.
is.